Well, it's the Monday after Thanksgiving, and on Black Friday, we got almost 2 feet of snow. And then we got some more on Saturday, a little bit on Sunday, and then another, it's probably 2 inches out there from this morning. Tomorrow, we're expecting 3 to 6. So that's just great because I have to take another 200-mile round trip to pick up another auction winning. And 200 miles, give or take, on the thruway during a snowstorm is not my idea of a good time. But I've got a bunch of things here on the table that have sold that we'll take a look at. I sold another Olympics poster and 4 of these little ceramic things that I did not think were going to sell this quickly or for this much. And I've got some other cool things that I bought that I've been looking at for a little while. And end of the year's coming up. I need some more business expenses. And this is one that I'm very, very happy about. Not a very exciting table, but money's money, so I'm happy with the stuff that's sold. So toward the end of the year, I always stock up on boxes, shipping labels, all that sort of stuff. And I did grab some more of these. These are little warranty void if removed hologram stickers. Each one has an individual number on them. And when you peel it off, it leaves behind a whole bunch of stuff. So I'll put these on electronics because what's nice is I can take a picture of it in the listing with this number on it. And that way I can tell if anybody's, been in the machine or whatever, and it'll save me from some headaches down the road. I also grabbed these UN 3480 and 3481 labels. So if you're shipping with lithium batteries or anything with a lithium battery, you're required to put these labels on the boxes. So UN 3480, this one is for if you're shipping a battery on its own. So if you've got like a DeWalt battery or just any standalone battery, this is what's required. 3481 is required if you're shipping an item with a lithium battery inside of it. So something good to have on hand. They're not too expensive. They're pretty cheap on Amazon. And for the amount you're going to get, unless you're shipping batteries all day, every day, this will last you quite a while. And I also grabbed some more retail supply company bags in a few different sizes. They're all over here because I put everything in bags. And that way it's easier when I am putting it away in totes, and it saves them from getting scratched up or damaged. But let's go over some of the things that have sold. Get my screen up here so I can remember. This upside down Knicks hat. I can't remember what I paid for this or where I found it, but I did sell this. I want to say it was on a best offer that maybe I sent in. I can't remember, but this hat right here sold for $53.10. Another one of the Olympic posters sold. This is the 1978 Amy Schneider. It is the 1980 Winter Olympics in Lake Placid. Still quite a few left down there that are sealed. And this one here, I took a best offer of $187.49 this time. I wasn't really sure if this was going to sell or even if I should just list it or send it to the donation bin because it is missing some stuff and it's not complete. It's in okay shape. See, it's got some dings and dents on it. But this is a Gateway Junior sewing machine. Model number is NP1. This came out of the private pick house, and this one sold for $19.99 plus shipping. So I've sold, I think, 5 or 6 of these solder rolls so far, and this is almost 5 pounds. It's almost a full roll. It came unraveled a little bit. Some must have been used over however many years ago this thing came out. But this one here, out of the 5 that I've sold, 4 have gone to Japan through a drop shipper, and that's where this one is heading to. So most of them, I think the one that went to in the U.S., I took a best offer on. All the rest of these here were paid. They paid full price. So this one here sold for $49.99 plus shipping. And then right next to it, these spools of very fine wire were in the same box with the solder, so also from the private pick house. And these sold the other day. I took a best offer of $40 plus shipping for all 3. This, I want to say, is the 3rd set of these little fan blades that I've sold. I've got maybe, 1 or 2 more sets. These came off of that Christmas thing with like the candle. You can see they all got a little bit of burn marks underneath because you'd light candles and this thing would be a giant windmill that would spin around. The heat from the candles would cause it to move. It's the same thing from Christmas Vacation that Cousin Eddie touched and the whole thing fell apart. Probably one of the best parts in the whole movie, to be honest. But I sold this lot of 3 for $19.99 plus shipping. So the whole unit itself was in rough shape, but I took all these fan blades out, and $20, $40, $60, $80, almost $100 I'll get for all of the fan blades once they've been sold. This here is a speedometer off of a boat. I believe this came off of a cutter, and it is vacuum controlled. I did test it. It does work. This came in a pile of a whole bunch of other boat stuff that I got from, I can't remember where the sale was, but I paid up like $5 for this, a whole bunch of other stuff, and a few of the others sold quickly and did pretty well. This one here sold for the full asking price of $49.99 plus shipping. More sales from the private pick here. This is a cross. This is the classic black pen and pencil set. And this one here, I can't remember if I took a best offer or not, but it sold for $30 plus shipping. More and more Christmas stuff is selling. This did not come from the private pick, but this is a set of three packs of three, some really cool vintage flame bulbs from Yule Glow, and I took a best offer of $10 plus shipping for all 3 packs. So these 2 belt buckles came from an estate sale, and it was one of those sales where the house was just so small they could only let like 10 people in at a time, and I got there late, so you're basically sitting in line while there's 10 people going through the house and just clearing it all out. But I did manage to get these 2 belt buckles for $10 a piece, and the John Deere snowmobile one here, this one just sold for $49.99 plus shipping, and then the Kawasaki, I want to say I took an offer on this one for $37.99 plus shipping. The Jeff Dunham talking head knocker Walter over here, which does work. Push this one-handed. Where is it?
What the hell is wrong with you?
So he's got a whole bunch of stuff that he says. This one hasn't been sitting too long. This one, another thing that came out of the private pick. That house really saved me this year, by the way. I want to say that I am over $3,500 in sales from the stuff that I got from that house. And this piece right here sold for $18 plus shipping. And lastly, what did I sell these for here? Because the number is going to surprise you. And some of you may not even know what these things are. So this actually came out of my parents' house. They were redoing a bathroom. And these little pieces here, you can see one of them's got some chips. There's some chips here, some chips here. And this is what they look like on the bottom. And so the house that my parents have, it's over 100 years old. And this bathroom that they have was redone in the 30s and I think 30s into the 50s. The toilet that was in there is from 1933. It's an American standard one-piece toilet. And if you find these toilets, they can sell for some pretty good money, especially if you get a blue or a pink one. But these here are the little bolt covers. So where the toilet connects to the ground, these would slide over the bolts on both sides and kind of, they wouldn't really sit flush, but they'd cover it up enough to look nice. These are very difficult to find from what I've noticed. And I mean, maybe just because I haven't looked, I don't know if I got to start getting into some more architectural salvage stores or whatever and see what these people have laying around, because these pieces here, I just took a best offer of $85.49 plus shipping for the set of 4. Oh, I forgot one thing to show you here. So this one's new in the box. It's a Case Logic car stereo case. Now this is for the old school pull-out head units. So, before the face plates came off, we had to take our head units out as a whole so they wouldn't get stolen. And then you can put them in this little purse you can carry around. It's even got a spot for your giant radar detector. But another piece from the private pick house, and this one sold for $20 plus shipping. Well, I cannot control myself when it comes to cool gadgets and end of the year business expenses. So I picked up this little thermal imaging camera from Top Don. It was only $150, and it's great for like thermal imaging. If I'm working on like a circuit board or something, this will tell me where the hot spots are, and you can address the situation and fix it. It's also cool for like looking at air leaks in your house and sealing up your house a whole lot better. But this was only $150. I thought it was awesome for the money, because I don't need a FLIR or whatever, some high-end one that's thousands into the even up to like 10 grand or more. I'm not going to need that. So for $150, I thought this was pretty cool. And I also bought, I'll show you here, a new scanner for the Ephemera store. So I found this Epson ES580W for $350, but then with Rakuten, there was 15% cash back on top of that. So something I've wanted for a little while here now for this ephemera store, because scanning one sheet at a time just wasn't going to cut it. So I've got a small stack of papers here, and we'll run these through right quick and see how it does and how fast I can get them onto List Easier to put on eBay. Okay, so I've got the scanner installed on software installed on the Mac here, and I made just a couple small changes. So I have it set so that it'll always scan both sides. It'll display both sides when you go through and review your files, because if it's a blank side like this from the factory, it was set to not show that. So I want to make sure it shows all these sides in case there's like staining or something on there. I also changed it so that it would not auto rotate because I do remember I used one of these, a different model, years ago for work, and sometimes it would like rotate the image 180 degrees, and I don't really need that to happen. I want them all the same way. So let's put these in here. Two-sided. Let's see what we got. A little bit of a hiccup there. Was catching the fold, but this is really quick. I should have timed it. Well, if it's going this quick, it's probably going to be less than a minute for all these sheets. It says it scanned 30, and it's going in 2, so that must mean it only scanned 15 at the time, so it's doing back and front. So up to 44, so 22 sheets. I still think we're going to make it less than a minute. It's nearing the end. One more to go. Okay, so it was definitely, when I started looking at this, it was definitely faster than a minute. Oh. So we've got, how many do we have? It looks like... Well, here, let's save them. So I'm going to save them in, let's see. Okay, we want JPEG. We're going to save them in, I already made a folder for automotive 1920, 1939. We'll click save, and all done. All the images are saved. Go to List Easier quick. I'll create a batch. We'll call this, these are all 1920 to 1939, so this is automotive 1920. Boy, I cannot. 1920, I cannot type today, to 39. The category I'm going to use is the same as how I store these. So this is going to be Ephemera 1920 to 39. So I have two separate folders, or two separate groups of folders in my storage, 1900 to 20, 1920 to 1939. And then I have separate store categories that that I started to use here. So eBay managed payments, I do free shipping on everything. Store categories, this is automotive, so it'll fall under automotive and transportation. We'll click continue. Best offer is on. These are all used. $15.99. I kind of set that as my default price for all these, unless they're signed by someone of historical significance or whatever. The SKU is 1920 to 39. Create the batch. Browse for photos. And let's upload the photos. So we have two photos of each thing. So front, back. And once they're uploaded, which they are, we'll assign every 2 photos to the listing. So it automatically generates one listing for these 2 photos. So if you take 10 photos of each thing, you want to make sure you do that. It's easier to do it that way. If you take 5 of each, 6 of each, 7 of each, and then you could auto set every 7 photos for one listing. So we've got 33 listings right here. We'll create and review. This is what's going to take a little bit of time because it's generating all the listings, the titles, the descriptions. And what's nice is almost all of these files that I have in these totes, they were already in these old filing, I forgot what they're called, but they were already in alphabetical order. So what's nice is I store all the stuff in alphabetical order, but by year as well. So the 1900 to or 20, and then this is 1920 to 39. That whole section is all alphabetized, so I can just sit here and go through them and put, you know, this is the C's, and then here's E's, and I can put them right in the folders and be done with them. And so far it's worked out really well. I've only found a few issues where I put some things away, and I must have had like a sheet of paper stuck to it when I put it away, and then it was in the wrong file. But typically, if I can't find something, what I'll do is I'll go back and look at the listings and see what listing is near that, and based on that, I can determine, okay, it was next to this person's this invoice, and then I can look in, like, you know, W for Waterloo or whatever, and see if the one that I put in was mistakenly was with that. And so far, that's worked out pretty good. So our listings are done. We just have to review and finalize these. And I'm not going to finalize them all just yet, but it takes, from here, it's going to take another 3 to 10 seconds, if that, and you're done. And that's 33 listings. Crazy. It's absolutely crazy. So now that I've got this set up down here, I'm probably going to go through a bunch, because I have, how many listings do I have left? 510 listings remaining for this billing cycle, and it ends on December. Next billing date is the 16th. So 510 listings. 15 days from now is not going to take that long. I mean, you just saw how long it took me to do 30 of these. So I'm probably going to go through, I might just scan a bunch of them and set them into folders, and then each day, you know, maybe add 100 listings to the store or something like that. I don't know. Let me know what you would do in this situation. But very, very happy with this. I've scanned some up in the computer room the other day with it, and on the PC, and then scanning here on the Mac. It's just as quick. It goes through everything really, really fast, and it does not seem to jam up at all. The multifunction printer scanner fax thing I've got in the office, that was jamming up. I can't have that, and it was casting like a pink hue over the some of the sheets of paper, and that just didn't look very good. So very happy with this. I'm definitely going to get some use out of it. I think it keeps track of how many things you've scanned too. So this time next year, it'll be really interesting to see how many sheets I scan through this little scanner here. All right, I'm going to get to scanning. So that's going to be it for this video. Thank you for watching. I'll see you in the next one.